Welcome to the Inside Track, where we chat with some of Australia's leading interior designers to learn about their creative processes. Today we're at this beautiful cosmetic clinic, Labelle Cosmetics, to chat with Alicia from Alicia Xiberras Interiors to learn about what inspires her creative process. Thanks for coming to join us. Can you tell us how you started off in interior design?
Oh, where do I begin? Definitely passion since a child. I would play with my Barbie funhouse and never get my Barbies out and just build the house. And my father would come home with floor plans. He was a property developer, and I just thought I was really good at designing floor plans. But when I look back, it wasn't what I do now, but I definitely had the urge.
That's amazing, starting off from a young age and just following that passion
That
through
dream
to where you are now. So what type of projects do you specialise in?
I specialise in luxury residential design. I started off doing decorating and rooms, but I just eventually grew to the point where we work on homes 3 million and above around Australia and international. And we also focus on commercial design, and we are actually in a commercial interior right now that I've designed, Labelle Cosmetics. And yeah, it's a phenomenal space, and I love telling a story, whether it's through someone's home or through someone's business.
Right, so how would you describe your design style, Alicia?
I really believe I can work with any style. And a client would come to me, and I absolutely love getting inside a client's mind and understanding their vision. And then I kind of, fuse it with my style. But I would definitely say that fundamentally, my style is a fusion of classical and contemporary blended together. Contrasts, focal points. And I would say this interior definitely defines that.
Yeah, I love that. So really getting to know what the client wants rather than just recommending something straight out.
Yeah, so I really love that initial consult. I love that conversation with the client. I love getting so deep on how they use their home or what type of clients use their business. And I really love that investigation part. And then I love bringing that brief I've created to life. It's the most exciting part of all.
Amazing, love that. So how do you balance functionality and aesthetics in a project?
Interesting question. It's what I base my business on. I'm a mother and I'm a business owner. So when clients come to me, I really feel like I can connect with them, whether they own a business and they want to make their business succeed, or if they have a family and how they utilize their home. So I think fundamentally it all begins in the floor plan, and it all starts from there.
So Alicia, can you walk us through what a typical design process looks like for you?
Very much, it's quite repeated through everything we do with every client. We have initial consult, which I love to get to know my client. Then it's kind of a conceptual phase where we will talk with, for example, someone like yourself. So if we have, mouldings in the design, or we create the elevations and how the mouldings work with the elevations, it's kind of that conceptual idea of how do we bring it to life, and it's that investigation. Then once we confirm the design, we then go into design development. And from there, we detail the design. So that's where we create reflected ceiling plans, dimensioning, coding. So it's basically getting ready for the construction component. Then after that, we go into 3Ds. And we then show the clients the visualizations. And I've got to say, we get it on the mark every time. And our 3Ds look exactly like the finished interiors. And I think as a designer, that's a really good achievement to have. And then it's final handover and construction. And we sometimes have aftercare where clients will request us to come on site to work with the builders, and it's bringing the design to life after that. So yeah, it's a process can take sometimes a minimum of 2 years. It's a very long time. Sometimes we'll be with clients from the very start of let's just say council submissions and things. And we can work with the client right from when they buy a property before demolition, right down to the end of furniture. So we can have a client in our book for 5 years.
So what are some of the common design mistakes you see people make, and how would you recommend they avoid them?
Generally, people call us when it's so far deep into the project where they've got stud walls on site, they've got formwork done, aircon in, and it's us coming in trying to work like a puzzle piece and how everything goes together. So I think generally speaking, it's important to come to the designer in the beginning.
Yep.
It's fundamental before you go to council submission, whether your business or your commercial, your residential space, always come prior to, you know, a governing body, because that's when the fundamentals start and that's where the fun begins. So don't come too late. That's a big design mistake I feel like people make.
That's a great tip. Don't come too late. Make sure you're doing your planning prior to commencing. The last thing you want to do is have the plasterboard in
Yep.
and then say, hey, I've got to get an interior designer to finish this off. It won't
Definitely.
look like your ideal space, will it?
Definitely.
Alicia, what's one key piece of advice you would give to someone planning to include mouldings in a project?
I think it's fundamental to always consider composition. So if you have high ceilings or low ceilings, that definitely plays a significant factor to the design. I think, for example, if you have a low ceiling and you've got, you know, let's just say a very high skirting, plus mouldings, plus a detailed cornice, I think you're actually making your interior look a lot shorter. Where, as we use this space, for example, we've got really high skirtings, but we've got a dramatization and lift through the high ceilings.
Interesting. So thinking about the shape and how it feels in the room.
Definitely. The shape, height, everything plays a big part to it.
Yeah, and you can really see that by drawing up in your elevations prior to getting to site and playing around with it on site.
Definitely. And, you know, if you are doing your interior yourself, it's always to use someone like yourself, you know, use someone to help you and navigate through that. Whoever you are buying your interim moulding from is to talk to them and utilize that resource as well. And they will be more than happy to help you navigate that too.
Yeah.
And they also do that for us as designers too. When we have a question, your team's always been there to give us a hand. So I think utilize the resource of knowledge from the experience of the industry leaders. I think that's really important as well.
So what's one design mistake you see people make often with mouldings?
It's more or less if a client, let's just say, engages us to do their furniture. So we'll go into a project afterwards. Sometimes I find I'll walk into their kitchen and it's quite classical and they've got overload of mouldings in their doors. And then you could walk around the corner, but then they've got V-groove paneling and a shaker profile, and it's more of a Hamptons look. And I just stand there going, oh, we're just clashing different styles. So I think it's always important. And this is something I stand by and I tell every client, tell a story from your front door right out to your pool. Tell a story. What story are you trying to tell? And that's even with a business, tell your story. So the story has to flow. So it doesn't have to be in the sense where the interior is just every single thing is matchy. That's not the case. It just could be like you might use the molding of that interior in another room, but you might have it in a different color.
It's very important to make sure there's a flow, as you said. Make sure they pair in together. The last thing you want is to be every room having its own different eclectic look.
And it's not blending, you know. You could have an eclectic home, but it's about working in harmony of all the rooms together.
Yeah. Okay, so what's one unusual or one unexpected request you've received from a client?
We're currently designing a phenomenally large home. It almost takes up 5 acres of the property.
Wow.
This home has so many unique requests. There's a koi pond with over 50 koi fish, and we've got aquarium built into the wine cellar. It's just, the home is so beautifully planned, and there's been many, many special requests that we're working with. We've got a calligraphy studio. Yeah, it's just a phenomenal home.
So what's one design element or feature that's a must-have in your own home?
I generally believe it's always good to consider your metal accents in the home. So I see a lot of people make the mistake where they have brass, but then you could go and there's chrome in the next room. So I think it's important to tell a story with your metal. And I use a lot of metal in my designs, and it might be, you know, for example, an accent of metal. It doesn't have to be an in-your-face metal. So you can see the coffee table in front of us is a metal finish.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be an obvious metal product, but it could be sprayed in a metal. So always take into consideration, I think, flowing your metals through your home and the colors and the finishes. But yeah, that's definitely one thing I love to play with in the interior.
It's very interesting, and making sure, as you say, they don't clash between rooms. It's very obvious when you see two different metal types.
Yes, especially in the bathroom where someone could have a bronze metal finish and then a chrome metal finish, and then it's just clashing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So Alicia, what is one tip or one piece of advice you could give to someone considering a career in interior design?
I think fundamentally you have to have passion, because if you don't have passion for it, you won't be able to handle the hard times when a client doesn't like a project. You won't be able to handle the hard times when it could be quiet, or you won't be able to handle the hard times when, you've just trying to make it. So I think work hard is fundamental. Passion, work hard, creativity, nurture your creativity, and be prepared. You have to have a thick skin in this industry, and I think you need to be prepared to work hard.
What a great tip, being able to understand that if you are passionate or if you're not, then if you are being willing to ride the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting down with us today, Alicia. Really appreciate your time, and congrats again on this amazing space that you've designed.
Oh, thank you. I'm just, really grateful to be in here. It's a nice, surreal moment when projects are finished and to sit in an interior and go, God, that's beautiful. And wait, I designed that. So it's a nice feeling, but thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed our chat.